Hi, my name is Amanda, and I go by the name of Panda. So, welcome to PandaVille. This is my little sanctuary, the room that I'm in. It is where I come to do all my knitting, where I come to read about knitting or YouTube about knitting, just pretty much where I come to de-wind after a long day of work. Right now it's 10:09, and I just got home about 30 minutes ago and felt like I needed to up my game on knitting. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I've been seeing a lot of video podcasts on knitting, and I enjoy the experience of uh, looking at what people are making and hearing their trials and tribulations in knitting. Um, and I have to say, it gets me away from the crazy world. um, so a little bit about myself. I live in New York. I am married. I don't have any kids, not yet anyway. But I do have a dog and I have an African gray, which you're probably going to hear from time to time as I do this. So, knitting, my favorite thing ever. My husband is like, no more yarn. Don't even look at that yarn store. You can't go in. We have to go here. And I'm just like, please. And it's kind of like, you know, he's dragging me, And I'm like, that's my candy shop. And you're telling me no? I feel like a 2-year-old kid when he tells me I can't go into a yarn store. But he's like, you don't need anything. Um, what are you going to get? You're going to spend more money than what you need to for no reason because the yarn you're not going to use right away. And so I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I want yarn. Anything that has to do with knitting lights up my life. And I really enjoy. Um, I'm the only person in my family that knits. So I am one of six kids. So imagine that. I have a lot of cousins, a lot of aunts and uncles. And when I got married, my family extended by a whole lot. If I am counting correctly, I think between my husband's side and my side, we have about 22 nieces and nephews in total. So, and I don't know who's going to have the next baby, but we're always growing. If it's not our siblings, then it's our niece or nephews that are, having kids. And then we're not counting cousins. So being that I'm from a large family and I'm the only one that knits, I find that to be very weird, but it is what it is. And I love to be standing outside of the box. But because I'm the only one that knits, when I'm always around my family, they call me the weirdo because I seem to enjoy knitting more than anything else to them. And so I'm weird. Whatever. I don't care. I'm weird until they want me to make them a blanket or until they want me to make them a shawl or whatever it is that they have on their crazy head they want me to make. So be that as it may, I'll be weird. Um, so the reason why I'm doing this, I wanted to figure out another way for podcasting. I wanted to figure out something for me um, to get out into the world. I am on Ravelry. My Ravelry name is Panda Loves Yarn. Is LUVS Loves Yarn. I'm not always on Ravelry. I probably have like 2 pictures on there. I'm still trying to figure out how to work Ravelry because I haven't really been on there. I have been a member of Ravelry from since 2010, but again, I've not really done anything with Ravelry, which is going to change. But so one of the ideas that I had in regards to doing this video podcast is that I know that there are a lot of knitting groups out there. I know that there are a lot of people that get together and sit down and have some wine and knit or watch a movie and knit and just talk about knitting. And unfortunately for me, because none of my family members or my friends knit or crochet, well, actually, I'm lying. I do have um, a friend of mine who crochets, but we really don't get a chance to connect. So I figured, hey, let YouTube be my um, knitting group. You know, I like to hear people when I talk about knitting because I just like to hear different stories. I love to read, but for some reason it's a different feel when I'm looking at the person that's showing me their project and stuff like that. It really feels like a knitting group. And so, because I'm still learning and I'm in this comfort zone where I really just stay with blankets and scarves because they have no shaping. um, I want to get out of that. And so I want to show you my mistakes that I'm going to be making. And they may be like, you know, stupid mistakes that I shouldn't be making. But um, I'm doing this podcast because I really want to learn from you guys. Um, and so through this podcast, I'm going to say, I need help with this. I don't understand. I read this or I did that, and it's just not coming out. And so that you can go ahead and say, you know what, Amanda, you're pretty crazy. This is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do X, Y, and Z, and then you're okay. So please feel free to make fun of me. I really don't care. One of the things that I do need help on, I'm starting right away, is I'm knitting a sock for my husband, my first sock ever, with or without a pattern. I bought this book on my in Michael's about 2 weeks ago about knitting socks, and the book talks about toe up socks and top down socks or cuff down socks. And I like the book because it has a lot of visuals. It breaks down the parts, but there are questions that I had that the book cannot answer for me or just kind of like skip through. One of the questions that I do have is the toe part because I'm doing a toe up sock because I've been on YouTube and reading, and a lot of the things that I've been reading about and hearing about is that toe up socks are people prefer toe up socks because the most important part is done first. So if you run out of yarn, you pretty much got the toe done. A lot of the times when people do the top down sock, they run out of yarn towards the ending, and then they have to go and get and hope that the store is carrying the yarn that they had started with started the sock with. So I did the toe up, and I don't know if this is supposed to look like this. I don't know if the toe part is supposed to look like an arrow. So can you help me? Because I have no idea. Another thing that I need help on, it talks about the heel. So it breaks it down. First of all, I love the book, don't get me wrong. But I think that there should have been a different flop of order. It talks about like the heel, then it goes towards the ending of the book and talks about um, the sock, right? And I think that you should, for toe ups, that you should have a section for toe ups, and show the different ways that you can start the toe. I chose the standard. In the book, it's standard toe, where I used the Becker cast on and then increased um, until I got to 62 stitches. So when I put the sock, it looks weird. It looks like it belongs on Jim Hansen's creature making thing. Like they should just use this for making one of their creatures, like a Muppet or something. I don't know what's going on here. Like this can be anyway. So this is my husband's foot. This is the toe. This is the foot. He likes it wherever it's at. So now I have to start going for the heel. However, when I was reading the book about the heel, it doesn't really tell me where I can go from there. I mean, it gives me an idea of the different heels, but I kind of got lost on, do I need to increase to start the heel, or do I just start the heel? Because that would look like a funny shape if I was to just start the heel right here. Like from, I don't know. So that's what I need help on. And I need you to help me, please. I really, 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 really would love to do this for my husband. He has been putting up with my shenanigans and my whole hot messness for over 9 years, and and I never made him anything. So this is the I love you. I love you. Here you go. So I can't do that if I can't finish it. So that's one I need help with. Another thing that I need help with is that oh yeah, another thing I need help with is that I'm starting to teach myself continental, and I figured the best way to do that is pretty much to branch out and do. I'm doing I think it's a top down shawl. I'm not 100% sure what the name of the construction of the shawl is. I forgot, but because I'm doing teaching myself continental, I like the idea of making the top down shawl because I have to do both knitting and purling because it's not knit in the round. So because it's not knit in the round, I figured it would give me help with really the tensioning and stuff and really help me out. So when I was knitting this at my mom's house today, she pretty much was like, "Oh, I love that color. It's very pretty. You knitting that for me, right? Like that's a shawl you making? Yeah, you're gonna make that for me?" And I'm like, "Sure, mom, I'll make it for you." But I don't really want her to. It's the springtime. I mean, today was 66 and beautiful. It was a bit breezy in New York, but it was beautiful. So this is kind of feeling heavy. This is 100% acrylic and it's straight stock net. And I just want to know. I need your help and ideas on whether or not I should make it um, lacy. I'm not really good with lacy. I'm learning lace things. Um, but, you know, I think that this is kind of boring. This was really supposed to just be my testing, teaching myself continental. And it wound up being my mom's shawl. And my mom deserves more than a boring shawl. And this is my boring shawl. So I need help with that one, too. Um, I was gonna give her the shawl that I'm working on. I'm taking classes on Craftsy, and one of the classes that I'm taking is by Laura Nick Nilkin. Laura Nilkin. I said it right. And it's called Skywalker, and I love her class because it really builds on shawl making and lace. So you're not really going to see it. And this is one thing that she taught me too is that it looks a hot mess when it's on the needles, but then when you block it, it turns out to be fabulous. And I saw her end product and it was awesome. So I do want to give her this, but I'm still working on it, and I don't know if I'll have it done in time to give it to her for Mother's Day. Uh, but the Skywalker is an awesome pattern, especially when you're doing shawls for the first time. Me over here. Um, when you're doing shawls for the first time, because she really starts off nice and easy, and she really explains the different types of cast on for different types of shawls, and she goes into depth with the project and really walks you through completing this project. She also has another project on the class, in the class, as like a level two type project where it's a little bit more in depth, a little bit more complex. I haven't gotten to that. Obviously, I haven't gotten to that project because I've been kind of stumbling with this one, putting it down, not picking it up for a couple of months. I started this in December and I'm still with it on my needles, but I'm getting back to it today. Actually, I got back to it yesterday when I was watching Netflix. Um, so yeah, so that's that. Um, the yarn that I'm using for this, which I have to say I really love the yarn. It's nice and soft, and I can't wait to finish it to really see what it looks like. But it's from Madeline Tosh, um, and the name is Flash Dance. It's like it has the different types of purple. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. The color is beautiful, and the lighting here is horrible. Oh, you see this right here? My mother-in-law made these for me. She makes jewelry. She sells jewelry. and my birthday's coming up. My husband asked me what I would like for my birthday. And I told him I didn't need anything or I didn't, and he said, okay, you don't need anything, so what do you want? So I gave him a big cheesy ass smile like this. And I said, what I want yarn. I want yarn, or you could get me books on knitting, or you could get me things for knitting, or you could get me books, or you could get me books with knitting. And he looked at me and he gave me like that serious, like, stop playing around face. So I told him, you know what I need? I need stitch markers. And he looked at me like deer with headlights. I kid you not. He was like, okay, what stitch? What? And so I had to go on Google. I had to show him my plastic stitch markers and say, I want ones that are nice. Um, and so I told him, oh, why don't you see if your mother can make me some stitch markers? And he came the next day, and my birthday didn't even come up yet, but he came the next day with 10 different stitch markers like this. And she's a crocheter. She doesn't crochet anymore, but she was like, how does she use these? Doesn't wouldn't this get knit inside the yarn? So I had to explain it to him over text because he was asking me while I was at work, how do you use stitch markers? I had to explain it to him over text and then he had to explain it to her. So at the end of the day, I got 10 of these different types of stitch markers and I love them. This one's a star. This one's the sun and a leaf. You saw this one, a leaf. I got a starfish, and then I have my regular stitch markers on here, and I got a key. Look how cute that key is. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I can't wait to get more because he said that she's coming up with some ideas on different types of stitch markers. I think she's gonna start selling them. She's gonna put some gems on. That's what he told me. That she's gonna put gems, put some gems together and figure out how to make more stitch markers. So I'm excited and I can't wait to see them and I will share them with you as soon as I get them. So that's that. What else? I did buy. See, when I get into something, I get into it wholeheartedly. So before the sock thing, I was really contemplating it. I'd seen a lot of knitting videos on socks and people talking about making socks on their podcasts and so on and so forth. So that's when I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna do a sock and I want to see, you know, does it work for me? So I went and I got the yarn, I got the book, and then I went and I bought two different sock blockers. One for my foot and then one for my husband's foot. See, he got a medium sized foot. So when I go in, I go in, and I'm excited. I'm excited by the weird things. I'm excited to put socks on those sock blockers because I like the way when people show their finished socks. I like the way the sock blocker really shows the end product. I don't know. Don't ask me. I like weird things, and just that's what Panda is sticking to. Panda likes weird things. I like funny, weird things that people don't really, would never really understand. But um, one of the other reasons why I started toe up socks, this is another weird thing that I like, is because I like the the Becker cast on. I like the motion that you have to do to cast on the stitches that are needed. I like the way you have to go over and under, in between, and always in between the needles. Don't ask me why. I just thought that that was cool. Um, so that's another reason why I wanted to start doing the socks because I saw it on YouTube and I was like, I want to learn that cast on. I want to see what do you use that cast on for. Sure enough, you use it for socks. I don't know if you use it for anything else, but I know you use it for socks. And so I was like, baby, you want socks? I'm gonna make you socks. He's down for anything that's free. Well, not technically free because he bought the yarn for me to make his socks. Um, but he doesn't know that, so let's keep that between us. Okay, you know, let's leave it at that. Um, I want to show you. I think I showed you already a blankie that I made for my friend. Full continental. I'm so proud of myself. Although this yarn is 100% acrylic, I got it from Red Heart. I ordered it online. I don't like to order yarn online because I love to feel the yarn first. So I was really nervous when this yarn came by, when it came in the mail. But I have to say, oh my God, I love the way that this feels. It's super soft. It's super, super soft. I think the name of this type of yarn is baby footsteps or some soft baby footsteps, something like that. I don't even know what I did with the label, but I really enjoyed making this because it's so soft, and I can't wait for whoever baby's gonna get it to get it because I think that this will put me to sleep ASAP if I needed to really go to sleep. And I love the colors; they're nice and soft. I love these colors. I actually think I'm gonna buy some more of this yarn and make my first baby garment, maybe a cardigan. And so I'm gonna need your help on that too. But I do want to make. I think I'm gonna buy more yarn because I want to see this in a cardigan for a baby. So yes, be looking out for help. For my help me, help me. I'm pulling my hair out because I don't know what the hell I got into. Um, but yes. So anyway, so that's that. And now I'm gonna help myself to some food. Then I have to walk my dog and get ready for tomorrow. I hope that you enjoy my little chit chat today, and I'm looking forward to chit chatting again. Maybe next week. I know that in the other video podcasts they have set days. Some do it every week, some do it bi-weekly. So I really don't know how I'm going to set this up, probably every week, because I know that I'm going to need help more than just bi-weekly. But I'm going to try to figure it out myself because I love to try and figure things out myself. But I get frustrated very easily. I get it done, but I get frustrated. So maybe every week to touch base and see how it's going. And hopefully I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to have this done by next week, but I'm going to tell you that I should have a lot done, hopefully, by next week. And hopefully, by next week, I would have some word on this and what ideas that you guys think may be beneficial to me. Or even if you see some like mess ups here already, because I would love to I love criticism. Don't get me wrong, I don't like that whole nasty criticism when people are just very, very hateful in their words. I love constructive criticism. I would take that any day, honestly, any day. But be, respectful about, what you're going to say and not come out your face. Um, I would take that any day, any day, because I'm here to learn um, by you guys. So, yeah, so that's that. And I guess that's enough for my podcast today. Panda out.